Hi, good evening. Last week I was at a meeting with colleagues who do adult programming, basically in Morris County, up north. So when I told them that I was going to have a program about hypnotherapy, so everybody, the first thing they imagine is the hypnosis that we see in movies, and like that, and then saying, oh, now you're going to act like you're a chicken or something. So, and I said, no, we're not doing that. There's something rather scientific about this. So I'm very happy to introduce Traci Blank, who approached us about doing this program. I was listening to her before, and she says she specializes in anxiety. Let me tell you, who in this room doesn't suffer from anxiety? Any hands up? You don't suffer from anxiety? You should be here teaching the class, because the rest of us, we're destroyed. So after working at the library, you need this, okay? That's why I'm staying here. Okay? So let's welcome Traci Blank, and no one's going to be a chicken, okay?
Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming out this evening. It is true there is a science behind hypnotherapy, and a lot more doctors and hospitals are using it. We're going to get into a little bit about how the mind works tonight and how you can use that to control your own thoughts and emotions and why you'd want to do that and how we do that through hypnosis. Just a little background on hypnosis. It's been around throughout time, dating back to when there was calligraphy with the Egyptians, whatever they call it. Hieroglyphics, thank you. Hieroglyphics, there was talked about the trance-like state. Throughout time, different religions and cultures have used it. So it's been around forever, but there's so many new studies every week. There was something on the Today Show last week about how it's a proven remedy for hot flashes during menopause. I used to work at Morristown Hospital for the past few years, talking about physical symptoms caused by anxiety and helping it through hypnotherapy. And as she was saying, I specialize in anxiety, and it's being used for so many other things to change habits and emotions. So as we go through and questions come up, just save them to the end. I promise I will answer all of them, okay? Great. So we're just going to talk real quick, start with some patterns. So there's a lot of patterns in our world. There's patterns in nature, and of course there's patterns in our thinking. So what is this pattern? 2, 4, 6, 8. Does anyone know what comes next? 10. 10, right. That's a pattern that we see a lot. That's a pattern that we're very conscious of. How about this one? 1, 3, 4, 7, 11. Anyone 16, know that one?
16.
No.
2 numbers. 2 numbers. 3 numbers. 4 numbers.
18. 18. Correct.
Oh, it's. How'd you get that?
So who said it was 18? You said it had. Do you want to explain to them how you got it?
Well, the first 2 numbers, 1 and 3, you add them becomes 4, and then you add the 2 numbers, 4 and 7, 11, and
7 and 4 is 11. 11 and 7 is 18.
Thank you.
So that's another pattern that we're fairly conscious of. But as people start to explain it, it becomes very obvious, right? Mm-hmm. How about this one? T, F, S, E, T. Anyone know that one? Any guesses?
F.
No.
For the pattern repeat.
So this one is another one that we might not always be conscious of, but once we see it, it becomes easy. So it's this pattern. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So who guesses what's next?
Oh, okay.
Another T for 12.
Okay.
Right, so the reason that I started with some patterns is because there are patterns in how we react, and a lot of them are based on our programming, which exists in our subconscious. Some of them we're conscious of, and through hypnotherapy we can consciously reverse them, and others we're not as conscious of, but once we do understand our patterns, then we are more mindful of them. It's like when you suddenly realize what car you want to drive, and then you're driving down the road and you see that car everywhere. Mm-hmm. Once you know of the patterns, you see it everywhere. And as you become more conscious of your own thinking patterns, you can start to do something about it. So that's what we're going to get into tonight, okay? Great. So let's talk about the mind. So this is a mind pattern, okay? So we have our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and our superconscious. 3 parts of the mind, that's why it's called the triune mind. This is a model of the mind. So our conscious mind houses all of our thinking that we have on a daily basis, okay? Our analysis, our logic, our reasoning, our will and volition. So when you're trying to change a behavior and you're just like, I'm just going to grit my teeth and do it. That's all in your conscious mind, okay? In your subconscious mind, it's the systems of your body that are automatic, okay? It's your emotions. So when someone's not always aware of why they're angry or upset, it hasn't come up to conscious mind yet. It's because emotions start in the subconscious. Our imagination is here. Our memories, our dreams are usually our subconscious trying to speak to us in a lot of ways, right? Okay, so that's the subconscious. And then the superconscious is a little more tricky. This is what some people, some religions refer to as the soul, our higher self. Science calls it our 0-point field. It's something that connects us all. It's something within all of us. But a lot of people refer to us as our problem-solving intelligence, our love, our peace, okay? So in order to start to get to that thing, there's several things in the way in our subconscious, and that's our programming. We have positive and negative programming throughout our subconscious. And these are the patterns that we talked about. Some of them we're aware of. It might be, I'm a smart person. I can figure things out. There might be some negatives. I'm an anxious person. In groups, my throat closes up. I don't know what I'm saying. My hands get clammy. These are all programming, some positive, some negative. Okay? And they influence how we see the world. And how we see the world is the critical factor. The critical factor separates the conscious and subconscious mind. It develops between the ages of 7 and 11. And after this time, when a new thought or idea comes in, the critical factor checks the subconscious programming and says, does this idea fit in with what I already hold to be true? If it does, it lets it in to reinforce that idea. If not, it kicks it back to the conscious mind for more analysis. So in this way, we only allow in what reinforces the beliefs we already hold to be true. And this might be true or it might not, but it's something that at some point we accepted or decided was true. The critical factor is not just the filtering system, but it also influences how we see the world, and that's the law of communication. There's 3 ways that we create the world based on our programming. Projection, projecting on somebody. Have you ever had a discussion with somebody and they're like, you're totally misunderstanding me, you're just putting what you want to happen onto this, you're projecting like a movie onto this situation. Anyone had that experience? So that's one way, projection. We project what we assume is happening. Attraction. There's like that Secret, the Secret movie that was big a few years ago. That's the law of attraction. And a lot of that is true. There's a step further that they take it, but we do attract in our life what we assume will happen. We'll attract certain people into our life. We attract certain scenarios. And the third way the critical factor influences our world is through pipelining. You ever been around somebody and they were angry and you just started getting angry and you're like, I don't know why I'm angry. It's just like, we push this onto each other. That's pipelining. You're pipelining emotion. So in that way, the law of communication says we create the world around us through projection, attraction, and pipelining. And that's the critical factor, taking in all your positive and negative programming. Okay? So what is hypnosis then? Hypnosis is where we open this critical factor and we influence what's in the subconscious. Okay, so in hypnotherapy, we use it for therapeutic purposes. We open up the critical factor, and there's 2 ways for hypnotherapy to work. There's suggestion therapy, which is the basis for all hypnosis, which is putting in suggestions that reverse some of this programming. So a lot of it you might know, like the one I said before, I'm an anxious person, I don't speak well in front of groups, my hands get clammy, my throat closes up, I don't know what to say. So in hypnosis, we would put the suggestion, I know everything I need to know when I need to know it. I am calm and relaxed. My throat is open, I speak clearly, things like that. There might be a few, though, that you're not as aware of. And this is where analytical hypnosis comes in. And that's where we directly ask the subconscious in hypnosis what's going on. And subconscious will give us either direct answers or symbols that we then interpret, okay? And we then go and reverse those. So that's kind of a brief overview of how the mind works and hypnosis works along with that. So let me just check where we are. That's how we see the world. Okay, so let's get into how our body responds to these suggestions. We talked a little bit at the beginning, and it's in the flyer, if you all saw it, to come here, that every impression on the mind has an expression on the body. Okay? Because what you focus on is what you get. So if you focus on being anxious, you're reinforcing that. And it's showing up in your mind, your body, and your behavior. Your subconscious mind will not allow you to be wrong. It will act in accordance with its beliefs. I have a friend in my life who always likes to say, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm just stupid sometimes. And she will act that way. She'll put things in her path that make her look stupid. It's because her mind will not allow her to be wrong. You see this with people who are anxious too. I'm an anxious person, and you see them getting overwhelmed. Their mind will not let them be wrong. So the first thing that we can do, we can all start to do it now, and it's something that I work every day at, even though it's difficult, it is worthwhile, is every thought that you think, if it's a negative, actively reverse it. So if something comes into your head that says, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do well on that presentation today. I'm going to do so well on that presentation. I'm going to rock it. I'm going to get a promotion. Whatever negative thought enters your head, oh, no matter what I do, it's never going to be enough. What I do is more than enough. Okay? So actively reverse that. Because repetition is one of the ways to bypass the critical factor. There are 5 ways information gets past that critical factor. One of them being altered state of hypnosis, but there are ways besides that. Authority figures, that's why we tend to hear our parents' voices in our heads, or our teachers, those authority figures get right in. Peer groups, that's how peer pressure works in a lot of ways with peers, gets right in. Emotionalized situation, you ever been in a really emotional situation, maybe there was a recent death, or just a really stressful situation, all of a sudden people's beliefs start to change, or you consider things you never considered before. That's a way that it gets right in. Okay? And other than altered state, which we talked about, the 5th way is repetition. So that's where positive affirmations come in. There's a big thing with affirmations. Some of them seem corny. It's like, I'm really going to say, I love myself every day. Well, it does work. With repetition and reversing those negative thoughts, like I said, in positive affirmations, you can hit right into the subconscious. Okay? So those are the 5 ways that we bypass critical factor to start to influence our programming. The other way this influences our body, like I said, the subconscious will not allow you to be wrong. And I work with a lot of doctors and therapists. I used to work at Morristown Hospital. Is that we can influence our body. There's a famous doctor, and his book is called Biology of Belief. I don't have it with me, but Dr. Bruce Lipton, he's on YouTube. And he studied how DNA can be changed based on our beliefs. He studied people who have multiple personalities, and in one personality, someone will be a diabetic, and another personality, they'll have a different eye color. Now that's taking it to an extreme. But there is something that your beliefs will change your body. And I always work, like I always say, I'm not an alternative health, I'm adjunctive health. I work with the doctors. But there's studies that show bones heal on average 3 weeks faster with hypnosis. that you can start to influence white blood cells to come out more when there's cancer in the body, things like that with hypnosis.
Is that like biofeedback?
Biofeedback uses similar, but it's more about brain waves versus subconscious programming. But it's all the mind, and the mind is a wonderful thing. But I get that question a lot, because biofeedback is big now. It's all great. It's all wonderful. There's no, one's better than the other. They're just hitting it in a different way. Along with that, since you asked the question, meditation. Everyone says, what's the difference between meditation and hypnosis? Same deep mind state. Deep prayer, meditation, hypnosis, trance-like states, they're all the same. It's what you're doing with it once you're there. With hypnosis, you're putting in those positive suggestions, or you're getting to the root of what is that negative that I have to reverse. What's residing here that it's not what I want and I have to change. With meditation, you're just staying in that state to have that clear mind, to take on the benefits of that state. So let's briefly talk about the benefits of hypnosis, meditation, deep mind state, coming into that subconscious mind. The autonomic nervous system of the body has sympathetic, which is your fight or flight response, and parasympathetic, which is your restorative response. We tend to live in this society, especially in that fight or flight sympathetic response. Our body has cortisol running all the time, which is our adrenaline response. Our blood is going just towards what we need to run away or fight, so towards our large muscles, our heart. So when we move the body into parasympathetic restorative, that blood goes through our digestive system, our reproductive system, and our body calms down. All of our other chemicals can go out. Our hormones start to level out, and the body is able to restore itself. So without even adding any suggestions, moving the body into hypnosis restores the body. It's a very restful state. Okay, so any questions on this? So we're going to talk about one more piece here, and that's the results model. This is how we get our results in life. There's events that happen in our lives, and in these events we accept or decide a belief about ourselves. Those are those positive or negative programming. Those beliefs cause our thoughts and emotions, which causes our behavior and our results. So let's talk about this specifically. Maybe there was an event when you were younger and you had to go to the front of the classroom and write a word on the board. Maybe you had to write cat and you wrote it K-A-T. And everyone in the class started laughing and the teacher was like, oh no, that's not right. So maybe at that negative event, you form the belief that in front of groups, you're stupid. You come off stupid. A lot of people have a fear of public speaking, and it may or may not come from something similar to that event. Now, in front of groups, your throat clams up, your mind goes blank. That's the behavior. So as a result of that behavior, your boss says you have to give a presentation or to get a promotion. And you are like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You get anxious, all these things, and you avoid it. A negative result, and you don't get the promotion. So we go back and we replace that event with the event of hypnosis, and we can change that belief to a positive. Like I was saying before, you know everything you need to know when you need to know it. You speak clearly. You are calm. You are relaxed. Whatever suggestions are specific to that person. As a result, now in front of groups, you feel confident. You feel calm. You feel relaxed. And you go do that presentation and you rock that presentation. And as a result, you get your promotion. Okay, so this is the results model, and this is what we aim for, and this is what we do in hypnotherapy. Any questions on that? Okay, great. So let's go back to the mind. Here. We're going to just talk a little bit more about hypnotherapy and some of the myths associated with it. So throw out a myth for me about hypnosis. I heard some people talking about it before.
Chicken?
Clock like a chicken. I'm going to make it clock like a chicken. Hypnosis for entertainment does work with suggestions, opening that critical factor to put in suggestions, but it puts in suggestions such as you're going to clock like a chicken. Hypnotherapies for therapeutic purposes, we do not do that. But even in that entertainment scenario where they're telling you you want to clock like a chicken every time you hear the word go.
Is that really true?
It does happen in entertainment, but there's 3 things that need to happen for anyone to go into hypnosis. You need to have desire to go in. So usually if you raise your hand and volunteer, that's desire enough. So in some ways you're complicit. You want it to happen. When people come into my office, they call, they make an appointment, they have that desire for it to work. Even if they're not sure if it's going to, they have that desire. The second thing you need to have is faith that it can work. If I do my job educating you, you will have faith. And usually the hypnotist in that entertainment scenario starts with a little bit about how hypnosis works and why it works, or at least puts himself as enough of an authority that you feel faith in his abilities, or her. So in this case, I've told you all about how the mind works, and you might have some faith. There might still be some lingering doubts. There's tons of studies out there that show the effects of hypnosis, and there's still people that doubt it because it's a science that not everybody can say is extremely quantitative or qualitative. It's just it is. We can see it in brainwave scans. We can see it measured in how much people go and react to it, but people have different responsive rates, and there's plenty of other factors because it works in conjunction with medicine. So even though people heal faster, people change their habits, I get so many people who are like, I know something's working, but I don't know if it's just because I'm meeting with you and we're talking about it. Doesn't matter what's doing it, hypnosis is helping. So you have to have faith. So we have desire, we have faith, and the third thing you need is rapport. You need to feel comfortable with the person leading it. Self-hypnosis sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, because you have to have faith in your own abilities and trust your own inner voice. Someone leading you through, you have to feel comfortable with them. I always tell people when they come into my office, I want to make you feel as comfortable as possible. You need to tell me if there's anything you're uncomfortable with. You need to be able to be honest. That's with any type of therapy that you work with. You need to feel comfortable with the person leading you through. So if those 3 things are in place, entertainment, therapy, hypnosis will work. So what other myths are out there about hypnosis and hypnotherapy?
That you would exhibit a behavior that would be totally inappropriate.
Yeah, so you would act out of alignment with your peers. You see this in Hollywood, that the villain is really the hypnotist that's using the suspect as a puppet kind of to rob the bank or murder people. Totally false. Hypnosis is interesting, that's why Hollywood likes to use it, but I cannot make you do anything that is against your moral code. If anything is said in suggestion in hypnosis that is out of alignment, you will self-edit. It will actually pull you out of subconscious and back to conscious mind. Also, in my office, we create all suggestions together so they're unique to you. You okay them, so you know going in, and that way you don't have to self-edit. But you will. If for some reason I slipped a word in there that you didn't like, your mind would edit it. Your mind is wonderful, and actually hypnosis doesn't take you out of control. A lot of people are worried about getting out of control, whether they're going to cluck like a chicken, do something they don't want to do, whatever it is. Why would I give control over to someone else is a large thing that people say. And the truth is, this gives you further control over your own mind. And when we do our group hypnosis experience in a few minutes, that's one of the suggestions I'm going to give you. I'm going to run all the suggestions by you, because like I said, I always do. But one of them is you are in control of your thoughts and emotions. Any other myths that you've heard of?
What about the one that you won't come out of it?
That you'll get stuck. That's the one on Office Space. Has anyone seen Office Space where the guy gets stuck in hypnosis and he doesn't care about his job anymore? That is not true. You can't get stuck in hypnosis. Hypnosis is actually a natural state that we all enter in and out of every day. When you're driving home, it's a routine you know. A lot of people lose track of all time. They zone out, they go into hypnosis, whatever you want to call it. That is the trance-like state.
And then they wonder how they got to that point.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, how much time passed? Oh, I'm home already. Don't remember the drive at all. I got home okay. Your subconscious was in control. Your conscious said, I know this. There's nothing for me to worry about. My subconscious can get me there. Now, the interesting thing about that particular example is, if a deer ran out in front of your car, would you snap out of that trance-like state?
Hopefully.
So your conscious mind is always there. It's just not paying as much attention. It's in the background. Usually, our conscious mind is forward, and our subconscious mind is the one in the background that we don't pay attention to. In hypnosis, our subconscious mind is in the forefront, but our conscious mind is still there. It's just not paying as much attention. It's not bothering us with that running monologue of thoughts. Another interesting thing about the car example, if anyone's driven home, they lost track of time, they were in their trance-like state, the radio was on. Now, you don't remember the songs that were playing, but later, the song plays and you're like singing along to the words, and you're like, where did I ever hear this song? Did I know the lyrics? That happen to anyone?
From sleeping. That happened when I was a kid in a vague sleep state, and I didn't know how I knew the song the day or so later.
That's your subconscious mind in the forefront, and those suggestions are going right in. That's why in surgery, in operating rooms, doctors now have signs that say, watch what you're talking about. There was recently a case of somebody that negative suggestions were put in and they reported them. But there was a study that the doctor specifically said a random trivia fact about elephants that nobody would know, and later they asked the patient, how much does an elephant weigh? I think that's what it was, but I don't remember exactly. And the patient knew. So from that, they always have to be careful what they say when that subconscious is wide open. That's why sometimes I'll make people surgical CDs that you can listen to in surgery that say, you know, the medication's effective, you move blood away from the site, you're calm and relaxed, things like that, so the doctors don't have to worry as much. But this is how the subconscious mind works. It will pick up suggestions. But to go back to the original myth that was thrown out there that getting stuck, you will not get stuck. As I just said with the example of driving in the car, if something happens that pulls your conscious mind forward, you will come back up to conscious mind. Any other myths? Did we hit them all? Do you have another one?
What about trying to get over something that's more or less like an inborn trait? I'm a Capricorn. One of the lovely things that Capricorn suffer from is procrastination, which I've done since I didn't even know the word. And it still happens no matter how I plan and set up and make timers and whatever. I'm still always running, rushing. Everything's done last minute. I can't get over it. How would that help something that's actually like built in?
Who told you it was built in?
I've suffered from it since I was a kid.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of things, a lot of our programming comes from, like I said, authority figures and things that happened before the critical factor was developed. Horoscopes, things that our parents did, they tend to be things that were ingrained earlier on that we think we can't get rid of because of programming.
Well, I looked that up just to see what is going on, and that's when I found out, just looking at, my sign, I said, oh my gosh, there it is. My big no-no is it's right there. So, but I found that out later, not all the suffering I've done.
So there could have been other things, like I said, from your parents or different things. I mean, even my sister has like this thing with her foot, and she's like, well, I was bound to get it because grandma has it and daddy has it. And I'm like, you're reinforcing that. Stop it. And she doesn't listen to me. But, there are things that we reinforce because, that's what we see, and now, it's supposed to be here. So that is something that you can start to consciously reverse. But it could also be that is a trait you have. And that doesn't mean it's not reversible. It means that it's at that deeply rooted subconscious. And a lot of our behaviors and our emotions about our behaviors are messages from the body trying to tell us something. And it's like that child that's hitting you while you're on the phone. Mommy, I want to show you something. Mommy, I want to show you something. And you say, oh my God. Mommy, I want to show you something. And as soon as you say, what? And they say, look at this picture. And then they run away. That's what our emotions are. We tend to ignore them, and they get bigger and bigger and try to get our attention. But as soon as we say, what is your message? And we hear that message, then they can start to go away. So there are things that we can change, but there's a lot of levels of the subconscious. We made it pretty simplistic here. But if at any level we don't want the behavior to change, it's not going to. So that's where we have to get to all those levels and hit them. There's a process I do that hits 7 levels. It's what's on the environmental level, beliefs about ourselves, our values, different things like that. So look at each level of why would this pattern stay here. There might be a negative payoff, which is a legitimate need being met in a negative way. You know, maybe it buys you time or lets you take your time in a world that wants to rush you. There's a ton of things. I don't want to make assumptions about you. But that's something that we all look at. So I want to make sure we get to the group hypnosis, but I real quick want to give you a specific example of how hypnosis, the power of hypnosis. And there's tons of case studies. There's people that I've worked with, let's say on sleep. I had a woman who didn't sleep in her 60 years. After 4 sessions, she was sleeping through the night, and she continues to. But I specialize in anxiety. The reason that I specialize in anxiety and anxiousness, from feeling overwhelmed by your emotions and stress, up through phobias and influences of anxiety on the body, physical manifestations. And one of those, like I said, I work with doctors. But the reason I do is because of my own anxiety. I've lived this. I was in social work prior to becoming a hypnotherapist. I was very good at my job, but it was very overwhelming. Anyone ever been in social work or know a social worker? Very high burnout rate. I loved it. I overworked myself. I trained people. I did my job. I wrote the grants. I was helping my family on the weekends. You know, I prided myself on getting it all done. I've had anxiety my whole life. I've been diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, but it made me better. I never procrastinated because I was too anxious if something else came up. Had to get everything done, so I looked at all the benefits of my anxiety, and I continued to get things done. I had panic attacks, but I said, oh no, that's fine. Everybody gets panic attacks. I'll be fine. Just kept going. I wasn't listening to that emotion or that message from my body. It got to the point where I started having vision loss and I lost sensation in my leg. I walked into my boss's office and I was like, I'm placing this kid in a group home later today. He's like, you're not placing anyone. You need to go to the hospital. There's something wrong here. I said, no, I'm fine. He's like, you need to go to the hospital. Call a family member or I will. I said, all right, I'll go, but I'll be back by 3 o'clock to place this kid. Anyone else act like that? Oh, no, I'll be back. I'll get it all done. I went to the hospital, and needless to say, I did not go back and place that kid at 3 o'clock that day. But my own anxiety was trying to send me a message. However, it physically manifested in different ways. At the hospital, the doctors initially thought it was MS. I went to several doctors. They were unsure. They thought it looked like an MS episode. My husband and I went out to the Mayo Clinic, and they told me it was anxiety-based. So we got to work on my anxiety. My father's like, why don't you try a hypnotherapist? And I was like, that's such shit. What does that do? But I got to a point where I was desperate. I would try anything. I went to a hypnotherapist, and by my 5th session, I never had another panic attack, got off all my anxiety meds, and now that's what I'm doing. And every day, I work on my own inner thoughts and negative thoughts, reversing them, my own self-hypnosis, and I am a calmer version. I'm still myself, still have my personality traits, I don't procrastinate still, but you know, that's something that I work on, and hypnosis worked for me, and that's how I came into hypnosis. So that's my personal example. Like I said, there's tons of other studies out there. I've worked with a diverse amount of clients, the hospital, and now in my own work as well.
How long during the day do you take this?
It varies in the day how much I can, but I make it a priority, which used to be difficult for me and still is sometimes. But I can, because I'm so conditioned into hypnosis, I can get in there in 2 seconds, spend 3 or 4 minutes and come out. And it's something I even do before I go to bed at night, and I say I fall asleep quickly and easily. I stay in a deep restful slumber. I awaken feeling restored, energized, and craving a workout. That's what I do every night.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that I personally do, and I encourage all my clients. I teach them all self-hypnosis. Today's workshop is not on self-hypnosis, but we will do a group hypnosis experience. Hypnosis can be done anywhere. It is not a fragile state. There is a lot of confusion that's a fragile state, that the slightest thing is going to pull you out of it. When you get used to it, you'll be able to stay there. But you're not used to letting your subconscious mind go in the forefront, okay? So it's an exercise, it's a muscle. It's like when you're working out and you started and you're like, can't even lift the 2 pounds because you've never worked that muscle before. But after a while you get so used to it, you increase your weight and you can do more and more. That critical factor is the same thing. It's not used to being pulled back. We've needed it for so long, and we continue to need it, and it's there for good reason. If we had every thought, every bit of imagination, every memory, it would be very overwhelming. So there's a good reason the critical factor's there. But, like a muscle, we can learn to pull it back and make it easier and easier for it to be pulled back, and for good reason, to influence our subconscious mind. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Just everyone take a second to make sure that your phones are silent. Now these chairs may or may not be comfortable to some people, but it's not too fragile of a state. So just put your feet flat on the ground and sit up tall as you can, and put your hands on your lap in front of you. And if you have anything on your lap, you can put it on the floor or on the seat next to you if you're comfortable with that. And if you're not comfortable going into hypnosis, you can just watch everybody else. But before you enter, I just want to run these suggestions by you, and if anyone has any objections, you let me know, okay? So these are just a few suggestions that I came up with that are in line with our talk, which is being in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts are positive and present tense. The reason I said that one is because we want to reverse negative thinking. A lot of people focus on what they don't want. They say, I don't want to worry. What are you focusing on then? Worrying. Your mind speaks in pictures. It's like saying, I don't want to eat ice cream in bed. What picture does everyone have in their mind? Eating ice cream in bed. So saying your thoughts are positive is the reversal of worry. And the reason I said present tense is because anyone will tell you if you're thinking about the future, that's anxiety. If you're thinking about the past, that's depression. So if your thoughts are present tense, and you're probably pretty good. And there's exceptions to everything. You can be excited about the future. You can think about a happy memory. But for the most part, that's where we're at. So is everyone okay with that suggestion? Okay, the next one is you are in control of your thoughts and emotions. That's why we're all here, right? So we're good with that one? Because you're in control of your mind, you act in line with your beliefs. Now this one is because I get people that say, when my emotions are out of control, I yell at people, or I cry and I don't want to. So that's why I put in line with what you want to do, with your beliefs. Does that sound good to everyone, or do you want to change that? Everyone's unsure? Okay, I'm seeing some nods, so we'll go with that. Then I put you are capable, okay? We always like to hit a self-esteem one, a core belief about us, and we all have different ones. Some people are good enough, smart enough, but capable is pretty universal, so I thought it would be good for everyone. Is capable okay with everyone? You are capable? Good. And then the last one is that one, the suggestion that I made before, that we reverse our thinking. So you are mindful of your thoughts and consciously flood your mind with positives. How does everyone feel about that? Good. So we all consent to these. Great. The other thing besides suggestions we're going to use is imagery. The mind speaks in pictures. Even as people speak to you, sometimes you'll get images coming into your mind. But the mind can't decipher, the subconscious can't decipher between fact and fiction. That's why when you have a really vivid dream that you were talking to your friend, maybe the next day you're like, didn't we discuss this? Anyone had that experience? It's because the mind can't decipher between fact and fiction. That's where deja vu comes in as well. Okay, so we're going to give it an image that it takes to be true, and it says, if this is true, then I can do this. I know I can do this. So I thought that image could be us controlling our thoughts. Maybe you're mindful of your thoughts and you feel a negative come in and you actively reverse it, okay? Obviously, we all have different things. Maybe you want to focus on that you're getting things done, that you're not procrastinating, or whatever might be the focus for you. That programming comes in, you actively reverse it and flood your mind with that positive. Your mind then will use that image as a blueprint for how to act in the future. It says, I've done this before, I can do it again. It's creating that new pattern of what to replicate. Everyone okay with that image? Any questions before we get into this?
I'm going to turn the backlight on
Oh,
and
okay.
turn this off because there is very harsh.
That would be great. And everyone check their phones? Good, good.
Could we add one suggestion, like
Sure.
what you mentioned before about having a good night of sleep so everybody sleeps well?
Does everybody want that suggestion? So we'll say you fall asleep quickly and easily and stay in a deep restful slumber.
Okay.
Here we go.
Except not now.
No.
That's a good suggestion.
Good one. Let me just write that down. Okay. So everybody put your feet flat on the floor, put your hands right in your lap, and find a spot to stare at just on the wall in front of you, slightly above horizon level, so your eyes are slightly looking up. And just keep staring at that spot as you take some nice deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, filling up your lungs. Pause to let your lungs inflate, and then exhale slowly out your mouth, like you're blowing out birthday candles through your pursed lips. Good. Take another deep breath in through your nose, filling up your lungs. Keep staring at that spot. And exhale slowly out your mouth. Just continue with those deep diaphragmatic breaths, filling up your lungs, pausing to let your lungs inflate, and exhaling slowly out your mouth. And as you're breathing, your eyes are getting tired and heavy and droopy and drowsy. They're starting to close down now. Blinking is hypnosis coming on. And as I count from 3 down to 1, you just let your eyes close down. 3, eyes getting tired, heavy, droopy, drowsy. 2, closing, closing, closing. And 1, allow your eyes to close down gently. And now I want you to imagine, sense, and feel that right in front of you, you see and sense a bright light. And with every inhale, you breathe that light into your body, and it brings a relaxing, comfortable energy into your body. And with every exhale, the light strengthens. And as you inhale, that light comes into your head, filling your scalp and face with comfort and relaxation, wiping every thought from your mind. And as you exhale, the light strengthens. Inhaling in that light down through your neck and shoulders, through your upper torso and down your arms, bringing a comfort and relaxation to those areas, turning your muscles loose and limp. And as you exhale, the light strengthens. Inhaling in that light now down into your lower torso, relaxing all the muscles of your back. Feeling comfort throughout your solar plexus, stomach, and chest. And as you exhale, the light strengthens. Inhaling that light now down through your hips, thighs, knees, calves, and shins. Feeling your lower body turn loose and limp. And as you exhale, the light strengthens. And on your next inhale, that light comes down through your ankles, feet, and toes. And now your whole body is included in this experience of letting go. Deep relaxation. And now that your body is deeply relaxed, your mind senses an even deeper level of relaxation. And as I count from 7 down to 1, your mind goes deeper and deeper into a comfortable, safe state of trance. 7, deeper and deeper. 6, deeper and deeper. 5, 10 times deeper now. 4, deeper and deeper. 3, deeper and deeper. 2, doubling your relaxation now. 1, deeper and deeper. And 0, deep, deep, deep relaxation. Deep, deep, deep comfort. Deep, deep, deep trance. Now, what I'm about to tell you is the truth about you. Each night you fall asleep quickly and easily and stay in a deep, restful slumber. Your thoughts are positive and present tense. You are in control of your thoughts and emotions. Because you control your mind, you act in line with your beliefs. You are capable. You are mindful of your thoughts and consciously flood your mind with positives. Each evening you fall asleep quickly and easily and stay in a deep, restful slumber throughout the night. Your thoughts are positive and present tense. You are in control of your thoughts and emotions. Because you control your mind, you act in line with your beliefs. You are capable. You are mindful of your thoughts and consciously flood your mind with positives. Each evening you fall asleep quickly and easily and stay in a deep, restful slumber all night. Your thoughts are positive and present tense. You are in control of your thoughts and emotions. Because you control your mind, you act in line with your beliefs. You are capable. You are mindful of your thoughts and consciously flood your mind with positives. Now you can repeat after me in your head silently to yourself. Each evening, I fall asleep quickly and easily and stay in a deep, restful slumber throughout the night. My thoughts are positive and present tense. I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. Because I control my mind, I act in line with my beliefs. I am capable. I am mindful of my thoughts and consciously flood my mind with positives. Good. Relax deeply now. Imagine, sense, and feel yourself in one of those situations that used to cause you some discomfort. But now you're conscious of your thoughts, and you consciously and mindfully flood your mind with the positives. And now your behaviors have changed. and you're acting in line with those positive beliefs and thoughts that you are putting in. Take all the time you need and fill in the details of this for yourself. Notice how good it feels to be doing this positive thing for yourself. And when that feels complete, just let me know by nodding your head. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. So now I'm going to count from 1 to 5 and bring you completely out of hypnosis. Bring all these positive feelings and good suggestions with you. 1, slowly, calmly, easily returning to full awareness once again. 2, every muscle and nerve in your body feels loose, limp, and relaxed. You feel wonderfully good. 3, from head to toe you feel perfect in every way. Physically perfect, mentally perfect, emotionally calm and serene. 4, your eyes feel sparkly clear as if they were bathed in cool spring water. On the next number I count, you'll feel fully aware and fully alert. You'll feel rested, refreshed, remembering everything from this hypnotic experience and looking forward to returning to hypnosis again soon. 5, fully aware, fully alert, eyes open, take a deep breath, stretch and smile. Good. Does anyone want to tell us about their experience? Anyone want to share their experience? Sorry for the... Oh, okay. Very relaxing. It is a little difficult. Like I said, it's a muscle that you might not be used to using. Like I said, now I take 3 breaths, I say, I command to myself, sleep now, I'm in hypnosis. I do it in the middle of a workout to get through it, or if I'm feeling tired. And this was your first experience, maybe, and it was a group experience. With groups, it is more difficult. When I'm working individually with someone, I can assess where they're at and use more or less deepenings. And relaxation is just one method. There's other ones, the startle response. When you're scared, your critical factor opens wide up. That's why in near-death experiences, people say their life flashed before their eyes. It's a critical factor opening, and all your memories coming forward to try to figure out what to do in this situation. Is there a memory that fits this? So there's several ways to get into hypnosis. Relaxation is good in a group setting. It might not be the best for every single person. But you all had a good experience?
I was afraid I was going to cough and disturb everyone, so I wasn't really concentrating on too much of a group setting.
And like we were saying in the beginning, what you focus on is what you get. So if you're focused on, I'm going to disturb everyone, then you're going to disturb yourself, probably. So, yeah, and did her cough disturb anyone?
No, I heard people outside.
Did it bother you?
Well, I focused on.
Yeah, so what you focus on is what you get. And with somebody who has a lot of that, I usually give a suggestion. Every noise you hear takes you deeper into hypnosis. So that's why I say individually works better, because I can talk to you about what you're worried about and relay any fears. But you all did wonderful. Any other questions about your experience? Any questions about the presentation at all? Okay.
How does this work with children?
It works wonderfully with children because of their imagination, which is also in the subconscious. They're very quick into hypnosis. They're very responsive. I've worked with children on bedwetting specifically, on some numbness if they're going to get a shot, relaxing their fears. It works really well with children. The youngest I've personally worked with is 6, but I've worked with a lot of teenagers too on test anxiety and school anxiety. I do a lot of that actually, sort of like 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, how long does it last for? Like, say there's somebody who has a fear of flying and they go into hypnosis. I mean, will 5 years later they still, not have a fear of flying?
So on phobias, it tends to be lasting, but hypnosis works as long as the status quo remains. So we're reversing all the suggestions that you're conscious of and that you're subconscious of. So any suggestions that we give you are on what you're currently dealing with. So like when I went through it for my anxiety, we reversed everything that was going on in my life, and then I'm acting calmly and I'm doing things that, help me. Now things change in life. So there's new stressors and new programming might get in there. But because I keep up, and that's why I teach everyone self-hypnosis so that they can reverse it, and you can always come back for a pressure. But usually it's lasting on phobias because what caused the phobia initially, we take care of, and unless there's a new, like maybe there was turbulence in the air after that, they'd be okay. But if there was like, you had to make a sudden landing, that might be a new thing that we need to do a trauma reversal on. But typically it's lasting as long as the status quo remains. Jen?
I'm very fond of classical music. It's kind of so, and I really don't have trouble falling asleep, but I want to be gentled into something. So there's on the TV, there's classical music that you set the time in. And so that's what I hear. I'm supporting everything that you say, but I'm wondering if I'm thinking it is a good way to do it, but is it is this in line with your thinking?
It's different for every person what they're going to fall asleep to, and it might have been that you have really good beliefs about classical music, so you have the belief that it's a good way to fall asleep. I personally sleep with a white noise machine. Everyone know what a white noise machine is? And when we go to a hotel room, I don't have the white noise machine, I can't fall asleep, but it's my thinking, oh, if I don't have that, I'm going to hear other things, and that's going to wake me up. So you might have the belief that classical music helps you to sleep, and therefore it does. Because there's so much science that says you shouldn't be able to fall asleep with a TV because of the blue light coming off of it is distracting, because we fall asleep at sunset, so it's red light, where blue light is sunrise, so you shouldn't be able to fall asleep. But how many people fall asleep in front of the TV? A lot of people. So, it's really based on our programming. But yes, that is in line with everything.
I like to carry that into my sleep so that
That's wonderful.
It's just a belief that I can.
Any other questions?
Do you do this in schools?
I do sometimes do it in schools. Typically, if I'm giving a presentation in a school, it's on test anxiety and how to set yourself up for a good score, imagining yourself getting back to paper with an A. I talk about affirmations, a great one if you know people in school, you have kids or nieces or nephews or grandkids, or you're in school yourself. I know everything I need to know when I need to know it. That's a great one. It works for a lot of things because
Being bullied.
being bullied, it does work for self-esteem reasons. There's still a lot of things going on, so I always work with the school counselors and the school psychologists. A lot of the bullies have their own, issues as well that they're trying to get at, a negative thought. So yes, that's a great one. A lot of schools have a lot of programming for bullies. Oh, I'd love to. If you know of a school that would like me to come in, I would be happy to give that presentation.
What about autism?
With autism, I have worked with children with disabilities and adults. They need to be able to be responsive and give me feedback, and they need to be verbal. So I have worked a lot of times with Asperger's. They do have anxiety, and I've worked with that specifically. But there is a level that they just need to be able to be responsive and want to stay in that state. I work a lot with ADHD. Concentration and focus is big. So this is a great one for concentration and focus, especially because your subconscious kind of narrows your focus. So getting into the hypnotic state can really improve your concentration and focus as well. And it's a great example, as well as just suggestions alone on focus and concentration. I'll get people to come to me. People come in for anxiety. They're on ADHD medication, which causes anxiety. So we work on concentration, get them off that medication in line with their doctor. Of course, I don't take them off medication with the doctor. But it lowers their anxiety, and we don't even work on the anxiety. So, any other questions? Does everyone fill out their door prize slips that wants to be entered for the door prize? We're giving out self-hypnosis audios, similar to what I did here. This one's for goals. Okay, so everybody gave in their door prize? Great. Thank you. Thank you.
How much do you think the sessions differ from listening to a tape?
Very different. Like I said, the tape and this group hypnosis we did, It's not individualized to you, and it's only doing suggestion therapy. So we're not getting at the ones we don't know about. We're not specifying anything for you specifically. Also, in group In the CD and group suggestion, we're doing relaxation because it's the easiest to do with the group. A lot of people respond to relaxation, it's what we're used to when we're going to sleep at night, but some people need a starter response or different other ones that you do overload another one. So like when you're hit with a ton of information and your mind goes blank, that's another way to bypass the critical factor. Any other door prizes? Who thinks they're going to win? Great, you already won. What you focus on is what you get. So you think you're going to win, you already won. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to give away another one. All right. Wei Yun. Did I say it right? Congratulations. And if anyone else wants one, I do sell them as well, and I can send it as an MP3, or I have a few CDs here. And if you guys want any other, have any other questions, I'll be around for a while. I also want to say for anyone in attendance tonight, if you want to sign up for sessions, I will offer you a discount through the end of the week, 20% off sessions. I'm also holding an affirmation workshop. I don't know why I said workshop on November 11th. It's going to be at my office in Somerville. It's a 2-hour session. It costs $75 and it includes dinner, and we're going to go over how to write a good suggestion, how to put yourself into self-hypnosis. Okay?
What is a regular session first?
A regular session is $250. Insurance does not usually cover it. Each insurance company is different and each plan is different, so you can call. People can use their health savings card. I give you an invoice and they'll reimburse you on that level. Typically 6 sessions, so you're spending about $1,500 total, which compared to lots of co-pays and the physical ramifications of anxiety are not bad. Sessions are 90 minutes in length. Sometimes we're done in 45, sometimes it's 90 minutes, but you get the 90-minute block. Because once you're in hypnosis, there could be 2 things that come up, there could be 20 things. So it's good to have the 90 minutes. Sometimes we use it all, sometimes we don't. Good question. Any other questions that you want to ask the group? Okay, well then I'll be around. If you have any questions, you want to book sessions, I'm here. And again, you have brochures, but I'm Traci Blank from Tracing Your Path. I'm located right in